Hello, I just want to talk you through the end of this chocolate milk mixture problem that we started on this week, and we didn't get through it. And I just thought if you wanted to try that mixture problem, it's not hard to do, and it's interesting because you can really kind of get through one of these problems if you, kind of think through it with me and if we practice it once. So anyway, here was the problem. The problem was that John has 20 ounces of 20% chocolate milk, but he wants it to be more chocolatey, 25% chocolate. How much chocolate should he add? So we did the given, goal, and the strategy in class. We know that he has 20 ounces of 20% chocolate milk, and we got the 4 ounces of chocolate by taking 20% of 20. 0.2 times 20, and that's how we got 4 ounces of chocolate, which means there must be 16 ounces of milk mixed with the chocolate to get to 20 ounces. So 4 plus 16 is 20. And we want to know how much chocolate should be added to get 25% chocolate milk. So what we're going to do is we're going to use guess and test, and then you'll see we're going to follow up with algebra, because it's not really an easy problem to do with guess and test, but the guess and test actually gives you a formula. All right, so I'm going to scroll a little bit. So here's our table. So remember that the percent of chocolate is the amount of chocolate divided by the total amount of the mixture. So right now, remember that's 4 divided by 20. And 4 divided by 20 is 0.2, 20%. All right, so let's just guess, because we have no idea. Let's guess that we add 1 ounce of chocolate, okay? And then we're going to try to spin this table off by just like thinking of other things we can figure out if we guess something, right? So if we guess we add 1 ounce of chocolate, then I can say how much total chocolate we have, right? The total amount of chocolate we have would be 1 plus 4, right? 1, because we already had 4, so now we have 1 plus 4, and that's 5. So we have 5 ounces now. All right. The total amount of mixture, now, right, is, well, we had 16 ounces of milk, plain milk, and now we have 5 ounces of chocolate, so now we have 21. All right. You could also get that by doing 1 plus 20, right? So notice we could have gotten that 2 different ways. 1 plus 20. We added 1 ounce of chocolate to 20 ounces of mixture, and now we have 21. So now we can figure out the percent of chocolate, which is, in this new mixture, would be 5, the total chocolate, divided by 21. And then I get my calculator out, and when I did that, I got 0.238. All right, I need some extra columns in this. I'm going to pause for a second and add a couple columns. Okay, so here I want to just ask the question, is this equal to 25%? Right, because we want a 25% chocolate, and the answer is no. And then we should have a rating column. Rating. We need, that's not chocolatey enough, right? 0.238, that's 23.8%. Need more chocolate. Okay, all right, so let's try 1.5 ounces. I mean, we're pretty close already, really, right? So now we have 1.5 plus 4, right? 1.5 plus 4, 5.5. And the total mixture we have would be 1.5 plus 20, so, right? So 21.5. We could have also done 5.5 plus 16. 21.5 ounces total mixture. And so now we have 5.5 divided by 21.5. If I get my calculator out and do that, I got 0.255. 25.5%. It's close, right? But it's, now we need less chocolate. So obviously we're going to be between 1 and 1.5 ounces. And that's a little scary, right? Like how much in between? We could go on doing this forever. But hopefully you understand the pattern. So the beauty of the guess and test table is that you can see the patterns that are emerging, right? Every time we put an X here, an amount here, the way we got this one is we added 4. And the way we got this one, we got it 2 different ways, right? But here, the way we got to the next one is one way to get it was take X and add to the 20, right? You just are adding to the amount we had at the beginning, which was 20. And then how did we get this column, the percent of chocolate? We always took this column, whatever was in this column, right? And divided by how much was in this column. Always, right? So X plus 4 divided by X plus 20, right? And then we wanted that to equal 0.25, right? So notice every time that's what we were doing. So maybe it wouldn't occur to you that that's the formula, but that's actually the formula. So the algebra, if I'm going to use algebra to solve this, I could have used the guess and test table to get myself started. And now I want that to equal 0.25, or I'm just going to write it as 1/4. All right. So one way to solve that using algebra would be to multiply by X plus 20 on both sides. I'm just going to give you this part, and then you could solve it, because hopefully you can do some simple algebra, right? And since I'm typing it, it's kind of a pain, right? But I'd have like 1/4 times X plus 20, and then you can multiply by 4 on both sides, right? So hopefully you can solve a linear equation, and you'll figure out what X is, okay? Once you get X, it'll be an amount between 1 and 1.5 ounces. You can go on, and that'll be your answer, right? X is something between 1 and 1.5, so you'll know you're right, okay? You could, part 3 is checking that answer, right? So you'd say, I know that adding blank, whatever you got, number of ounces, is correct. If I add, well, I guess I can tell you how much it's going to be. It's going to be, if you do the algebra here, I'm not going to do it just because you can do it. X ends up being 4/3 of an ounce. Whoops, X equals 4/3 ounces. So I know that adding 4/3 of an ounce is correct. So 1.333 ounces, right? If I add 4/3 of an ounce, 4/3 ounces of chocolate, I get a total of 20 plus 4/3, which will equal, let's see, that's 60/3 plus 4/3 equals 64/3 ounces, right? So by the way, so now I know, right, of mixture of chocolate milk. And we had 4 ounces of chocolate plus 4/3, and that's going to equal, let's see, 12/3 plus 4/3, 16/3 ounces of chocolate. And then I need to figure out the percent of chocolate, right? Percent of chocolate would equal 16/3 divided by 64/3, right? And it's pretty easy to do a little arithmetic there and see that that's exactly equal 25%. All right, 16/64. All right, so which is what we wanted. I want to note here that if you would do a lot of rounding here, you won't get the right answer. So if you go with 1.3 ounces, it's not going to work. You won't get exactly 25%. All right, so using fractions sometimes, like in a situation like this, like fractions are nice to use because you get exact answers. Maybe if you were doing in practice, you might have to go back and, right, actually round it. But like using the actual fractions, you'll get exactly 25%. If you were using 1.3 as your answer, it won't come out to be 25%. All right, hopefully that makes sense. And I have office hours tomorrow. Right, I have some office hours before you have to turn this in, so come and get help if you need it.